Alright, so as y'all can see, I am in the car. This is hands-free because this thing is propped up somewhere, but I wanted to record the video talking about my thoughts about Road to Love. And so I have a nice little commute home, so I figured, you know, no time like the present, so I might as well get it now. So Road to Love, y'all, this has probably been my most stressful release ever, because of all of the mess that happened with the actual release, that sort of essentially shut the book down for an entire day, while people were trying to get it at like the height of, you know, like the excitement and anticipation building for it. Something happened with Amazon. So this is what happened. So I uploaded the book very early in the morning on Monday the 4th, and then it took until maybe 6 or 7 or 8 in the evening for me to finally see that it was completely live on the back end of the Kindle Direct Publishing app. And so I shared the links. People had shared the links prior to, because it was like fake live, and people were able to purchase. So they did that, and then I realized that in my manuscript I had forgotten the acknowledgments, which acknowledgments are usually a pretty important part of the book to me, even if they are just simple, like, one sentence things. I like to acknowledge the people that were like there during the process, and give them a little shout outs or whatever, and especially since with this book, it was a collaboration. Well, the book wasn't a collaboration, but the entire premise of the project is a collaboration to other people, and so I definitely want to give Bailey and Tay their props or whatever. So I was like, shit, I need to update the manuscript and add in the acknowledgments. And so I woke up early Tuesday morning and updated the manuscript again at approximately like 5 a.m. Central Standard Time. And by the time I got to work that day, which is like 6:30 a.m., I was getting messages from people saying, "Oop, that's what happens when you prop things up." I was getting messages from people saying that they couldn't access it, that it was just giving them a page that said that this product couldn't be found. So I was like, oh snap, what's going on with my book? Because when I looked in the Kindle Direct Publishing portal, it said that it was still live. It was not presenting me with any issues. I called the Kindle people. They were like, girl, what are you talking about? We see it working. We see that it's live. But no one could access it. We all were getting the same, this product cannot be found, with those fucking puppies on the page from Amazon. So like that went on for the majority of Tuesday the 5th, and then Wednesday the 6th I went into work late because I have to work a late day. Y'all don't care about this, but I went into work late, and so I slept in, and I didn't wake up at my normal 4:30 a.m. I woke up then, and then I made myself go back to sleep. So then when I woke up again at 7, I had a text message from Christina saying that the book was live again. So I went and like reshared it on social media or whatever. And so I was a little bit annoyed with that whole process, for a few reasons. One, I was very anxious for people to read this book, and so to have that sort of like gap in time, not to say that like people are not going to read it now, because obviously people will, but I was really interested in getting like that immediate feedback. That's the first reason. The second reason is purely vanity. It fucked up my ratings, so now I will never know how high this book really could have gotten in the rankings, because while it was down, it was still presenting as if it were live. And so that entire day I got no sales and no page reads, and those things affect rankings. So if there weren't that hiccup in the process, I probably could have gotten way higher rankings than I ended up seeing on Wednesday when people were finally able to access it. So late Monday night, like, I saw some of the rankings or whatever, but I think it had potential to rank higher than what I have proof of, and so I was just really, like, bummed out about that. But that's not what the book is about. Like, that shouldn't be something that's, like, very valued in my process. But you also want to see growth in various ways, and one of the ways by which I see growth is by increased sales rankings. Like, I'm human. Like, I want to be number one. I want the orange banner. Like, what the hell, bro? So, yeah. Anyway, this book took me through it. I know y'all are probably tired of seeing the view from my dashboard. I'm trying to adjust it again while I'm in traffic, but it very well may fall down. Yeah, man, like, this is my first full-length novel project. All of my other books have come in around, well, okay, the Holiday Sisters are obviously, all of them are the shortest that I've ever written, and those clock in anywhere from 20,000 to 25,000 words, and then the Accidentally in Love series, those clock in anywhere from, I think, 36,000 to 42,000 words, because I think Then Came You was just over 40,000 words, so yeah, about 42,000 words. And so this project is at about 62,000 words, so it's 20,000 more than any of my previous projects, which, again, word count is not a thing y'all really care about. Y'all just want the story, and for the story to be good and make sense. But for me, it was a big deal because it was the most I had written in a single project that I had released for people to read. I've written things that are about this length or longer, but it was many years ago, before I was a more disciplined writer and before I was as good a storyteller as I am now. So there are things that will never see the light of day, because they are just terrible. But I wanted to be really careful with Road. Because the subject matter meant a lot to me. The things that these characters sort of face meant a lot to me. Like Emerson's frustration with her life and the breakup, and the family dynamic with her and her father not getting along, and the layers of the reasons why they don't get along, and then trying to sort of get her to come to grips with that she doesn't necessarily need to make amends, because if her father was still a terrible person, like, I would not have made her make amends, but she needed to come to a place of peace for herself, in order to no longer be stagnated by just the anger that she was feeling with him or whatever. So there was that, and then there was Roosevelt's situation and how his parents essentially abandoned him because he dared exercise free will. And I'm not a parent, so I don't know. I guess I don't know where I was going with that, but I'm not a parent thing. But the whole Jehovah's Witness thing, right? So I have firsthand experience with that. I myself was not raised a Jehovah's Witness, nor were anybody in my family, nor was anybody in my family, I should say. But growing up from 8th grade on, through high school, through my undergrad years, probably like up until I graduated undergrad, one of my closest friends, her family are Jehovah's Witnesses, and so I grew up around them, hanging out at their house a lot, them trying to convert me witnessing like different aspects of the religion and the manner in which they comport themselves. And it's very interesting to me because a lot of people love to say that Jehovah's Witnesses are a cult. That isn't a thing that I believe. The way in which I use this religion in this project is not meant to condemn, but it is meant to be used as a tool of learning, right? Because I feel like a lot of the times people just know Jehovah's Witnesses as like, oh, those are the people that go door to door with the watchtower and awakes, and they're those weird people that don't celebrate birthdays, which those things are very well true about them, but they also study the same Bible that you and I both study. Like, you know, it's just not King James, but the content is exactly the same. And they live by the same Christian principles that any other person who calls themselves a believer of God follows. They just adhere to them a bit more literally, particularly a lot of the Old Testament principles they adhere to a lot more literally. And so therein lies a lot of the conflict that comes with people exercising their free will and dealing with the fact that their Jehovah's Witness family members just don't accept that. They have this process that I think is the worst thing ever. It's called disfellowshipping, and essentially if you get into trouble, or if you prove yourself not to be living your life in the manner in which they think you should comport yourself, then you're disfellowshipped from your congregation, which is like, if you're familiar with Catholicism, excommunication. But excommunication is sort of archaic, I feel like, in Catholicism right now. But disfellowshipping is definitely still the jam with Jehovah's Witnesses. And it's essentially like being cast out from your insular community, right? So like everyone that you know, everything that you know, you're removed from it forcibly. You really don't have a choice in it. And it can tear families apart, which is essentially what it did with Roe and his parents, because his father made the decision to disfellowship his own son, which is something that I am not 100% sure that would be something that would be done lightly. And I'm not 100% sure of his motivations behind doing it, but I felt like I wanted to sort of give two sides of the coin with how this works. So you have Roe's dad, who's like the extreme and completely, gives up on his son, and basically hands him off to his mama like, here, you can raise this little nigga because he don't want to follow Jehovah. And then you have Emerson's dad, who is disappointed that none of his children remained in the truth, which the truth is a term that Jehovah's Witnesses use to describe the manner in which they live or whatever. So he's disappointed that none of his children stayed in the truth, but he also keeps trying to bring them back in different ways. And so when he and Emerson have that big talk, and he's saying how he tried to, still work on Grace and Ted, and how he tried to have Bible studies with Grayson and Tamia, and how, he invited the elders over before Mike had taken off or whatever, and he was still, he was fighting with what he believed to be the truth, and how to accept the fact that your children are not you. So they may make choices in life that you don't necessarily agree with, but that doesn't mean that you need to completely sever your relationships with them. And so yeah, like getting those dynamics right and not making either of those men seem like caricatures was a bit difficult to task for me. But it was not something that was completely out of the wheelhouse, because like I said, I'd been around witnesses. I'd I experienced how they treated people who were ardent followers versus who weren't, on both sides of that coin. Like, I studied witnesses for a minute when I was like in high school, because I was like, oh, okay, like, just going to the Kingdom Hall is just like going to church. All right, cool, let's go. But then I felt like an immense amount of pressure to convert when I was still trying to find who Nicole was at that point. You know, I'm a kid, so I don't know I don't know who I am at that point. I don't know, you know, what behaviors I would align myself with at that point. And so it's just, I don't know, it's crazy, because I got a message from a reader today, and she said, you know, the first question she asked was like, was this like semi-autobiographical? Because it's just too real. Like, I could relate to it so much. And she was telling me that she had been dissed, and her parents are still witnesses, but like everybody else she grew up with, they don't talk to her, and how it's very awkward when she goes to visit, because like she'll be around these people, but they literally won't talk to her. So like, can you imagine that? Can you imagine being in a social setting, or not even a social setting? Can you imagine being at dinner, and it's a dinner party with 6 people and 4 of them aren't talking to you? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. So so when I thought about writing this story initially, that element was different. It wasn't the Jehovah's Witness angle. It was still religious-ish, kinda. But I like, when I started writing and just talking it through with some people, I was like, I think I want to add this thing, because I think it would add depth. And I think it's important for people not to think that, I don't know, that Jehovah's Witnesses are just completely, you know, cultish. Like, they're human too. So I don't know. So yeah. Let's see, what else are my other thoughts? I love Ro. He's my favorite hero that I've ever written. So I hope y'all love him too. Let's see. Emerson was trying, because if you follow me anywhere on the internet, you know that I have a rather smart mouth, and I can have a rather profane mouth at times. And Emerson does not cuss at all. She uses fiddlesticks and sugar and Mickey Ficky, and when the character came to me, she came to me that way, and I was like, you don't just want to like cuss for the one time, like make my life easier. And it's so funny, because I get so much trash for using profane language in my books, and so I think this was the universe's way of being like, ha 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 ha, you can't cuss. Though Ro does cuss liberally. I don't think it's excessive, but I think that it's on target for how a man his age and from his background would talk. But I'm very interested to see if I get reviews talking about foul language still with this project, because my initial thoughts are I won't, because the policing of language is a very gendered thing, and people don't like when ladies have foul mouths. But guess what? We fucking got foul mouths sometimes, bro. So like, you can't I don't know. I'm going off into a whole nother tangent, and that's not even what this is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about Road to Love, which was a trying and a very fun project to write at the very same time. I worried a bit about whether it would be seen as a complete departure from any of my earlier works, because like I said, a bit of the subject matter was a little heavier, but so far the feedback has been good, the responses have been good, and I'm just looking forward to really seeing where this project goes. I will not be revisiting any of these characters, or any of their family and or friends. You guys can look forward to hearing more about I was finna call her Raquel, but that is not her name. Roxanne, aka Roxanne Malone, in Tay's book, which is coming in July. And then you guys will hear more about Charlotte Kearns in Bailey's book, which is coming in August. But as far as me and Emerson and Rowe, or Mr. Lightford, the attorney, or Grace, or I'm trying to think of other side characters. All those people, they're gone. It was a good time while they were here. It was fun while we lasted. I'm pretty sure I'll get some flack for how it ended. But hey guys, we are going to assume that they have a happily ever after, because I don't write books where they don't have happily ever afters. So we're going to say they got on the road to go to Cali. It was great. They got back to Cali. Emerson went back to her job. It was great. It was awesome. She was less of a witch. Was stress-free. She was really relaxed. Ro went and met with the rich dude. That's not his name. Rich is the engineer. Oh, sup? Is Rich his name? Whatever, the record label dude. He went and met with him. They hit it off just like they hit it off before. He offered him the job. Ro accepted it. He moved back to LA, and he and Emerson are living happily ever after. And they might get married and have some babies one day. Who knows? But yeah, you can make up your own ending for them, just like I did. But I'm not coming back to them at all. I think that's pretty much it about my thoughts for Road to Love. If you are coming to Indie Love, I will see you in Los Angeles on June 23rd. If you are watching this and you're in the Los Angeles area and you're like, what is Indie Love? I will put a link to buy tickets to the event in the comments below this video. I believe you have until June 15 to buy your tickets, so you might want to get on that because it's going to be a little lituation. I don't know what's next for me as far as what I'm writing or releasing, but the plan is to have something new for Indie Love, but I mean not Indie Love, sheesh, for Behind the Pen in New York in August. But I don't know, we'll see where the Lord leads. For now, I'm just I'm chilling. I was gonna start writing something else, but then my brain was like, girl, we don't even know where we're going with this, so you just need to stop. So I did, and I'm taking a wee bit of respite after finishing Road and sort of soaking in all of you guys' thoughts and opinions and viewpoints about it. So make sure, if you've read it, if you plan on reading it, please leave a review, even if it's just one line that says, I like this book. Because reviews are very important. Or even if it's a line that says, I don't like this book. That's fine too. Everyone's entitled to their opinions, all that good stuff. But yeah, make sure if you're reading, you're leaving reviews, because especially when it's an indie author, it's mad important. Because the more reviews we get, the more Amazon promotes our products, and the more Amazon promotes our products, and the more eyes are on them. The more eyes, the more reads and buys and all that good stuff. So you definitely want to make sure that you are reading, rating, and reviewing. Darn, there was one more thing that I was about to say, but I completely forgot. Oh, if you are coming to Indie Love as well, I might do pre-order similar situation for paperback copies of Road. I haven't formatted it for paperback yet, but yeah, soon, because I need to have those in New York for people in case they want to buy, because all three of us will be at Behind the Pen, and so hopefully you'll be able to get books from all three of us then for the whole collection to be complete. Alright friends, I'm out. I'm almost home. This has been my whole freaking commute that I have been rambling and rambling. So yeah, hope you like the book. Hit me up if you have any questions, comments, concerns. If you just want to chat, you know, hit me up. Alright, talk to y'all later. Bye.